Generally speaking, it's a good practice to add a page title on the top of all the pages that you have on your website. Or for example, if you have a specific blog post, then it would be nice to have the title of the blog post showing up at the top. And there's multiple ways to do this, and I will show you here. We'll be using the Live Coach WordPress theme, but it works in the same for all the other themes that we provide. But here in this demonstration, I will show how you can add a title on the pages that you might have, and the various ways how to accomplish this. And I will also tell what's the most optimal approach. So one of the things you could do is, here we are already logged onto the site, and I'm here at the contact page. So for the contact page, it could be nice if here at the top, underneath the menu and above this call out widget here, to have the title in place, right? So there's multiple ways to do this, as I just mentioned, and one of the more simplistic ways would be to simply add a new row and to drop it here above the call out, and to simply start typing text, right? To say, okay, in this widget we'll be using a text widget, and in the text widget we could add the text manually. So here we could say, let me go to the title part, say contact, and we could hit save. The page will update, and we can see here now that there's a title that says contact, which is nice, which is okay, but you already know that this page was called title, because if you're looking at the page settings, then the title was already set up, so the title already was contact. And it would be more practical if we could reuse the text which was already in place, if we could reuse the title which was already connected to the page. So rather than adding a row here at the top of the content, so if I hover over the icon here, you could see that I just dragged and dropped the item in the main content, which means it's specifically for this particular page. Of this, if this would have been a post, it would have been a row specifically for this post, and it would not have been reused by other pages or other posts. So rather than using this approach, I will remove the row here. I will now be dragging and dropping an item or a new row in the subheader. So the subheader actually is the part underneath the main header and above the main content. So it's the thing which is showing up here in between. If this page or if this post would have a sidebar, the subheader would have been on the left side of the sidebar. So I will drag a row. So rather than dropping it here into the main content, I will now drop it in the subheader. So subheaders can be shared between pages and posts depending on the configuration of the business rules that you have for the template. But now this row, if I hover over it, you can see it's located in the subheader content area. And rows that are located in subheaders have different types of widgets which you can place in there. So the thing that we will be using here for the title is a specific widget which only shows up. It's the one here on the very top left that has an H sign, and this is the WordPress title widget. And if I use it, I just selected it, you can see now that it automatically inserts the title of the page or post, depending on if this will be a page or a post. And it also could show some additional things. For example, if you want to, you could show the author of this particular page or post, or show the creation date, or show the categories. I will now turn them off, but you can configure this the way you want to. And if I now hit save, then here you can see that it now reflects the title which was set up. If I would change the title here, just to give you a very simple overview of how this works, to contact test in the page settings, and now if I hit save, the page will refresh, and now here, as you can see, will now be the updated text. So this is a very practical approach how you can reuse the page title and place it on top of the pages and posts that you have. There's one thing which I already mentioned, which is very important to note, is that if you have other pages, for example, this could be a page, the one that's called blog. Now also here at the top of the blog post, the same information will show up. Let me show you what I mean. Here also the same subheader is being used. So there is a different video that describes in far more detail on how you can decide to reuse or use a distinct or non subheader on top of specific pages, which is by using this icon here, which is the page template rules. So I won't go into the details as I just mentioned, but here you can determine if and if so, which subheader to use. So in that way you can make specific posts to have the page title on the top, or specific pages in specific categories, or a particular individual page or post to either have or not have the subheader. So in this way you can add the title on top of the page or post, and to repeat, there's two options. Either you can add a row into the main content of that specific page or post, which is not a good idea in general unless you want to make that exception for that particular page or post. Or you can add a row into the subheader if it doesn't already contain it, and simply add the H widget, which is the title, the WordPress title widget. And you can also configure it simply by clicking on it and deciding if you want to show the author, if you want to show it in a bigger way, if you want to override the font size, you can make it very large. This would be a very large title. There it goes. This is way bigger than it used to be by default. And there's way more options yet you can configure here. Social sharing icons, comments counts, categories, the date, the author, which I already showed you. So by using this approach you can truly determine how the title should show up. I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, please do let us know, and thanks for watching.